So number 9, we're almost there for the first 10 years at any rate, Max. And 2022, and there was a speaker this year that really struck a nerve for me and, I think for the audience as well. That was a guy called Doug McMaster, an amazing chef, and he runs this zero waste, I think it's probably the world's first zero waste restaurant called Silo. And he used this phrase, waste is a failure of imagination. Waste is a failure of imagination. And I kind of had my eyes open to that. And so I want to talk about how people can use limitations to fuel creativity. That was a theme that I took out of that. And we'll come back to Doug because I think it's such a great story. But we also had people like Louise Scott from Natural, we had Will Pearson from Ocean Bottle, and that was clearly around sustainability, right? Again, about how do you reduce waste, but what could you use that for? How could you sort of reinvent? How could you use the constraint of we know we need to be more sustainable? How can you use that constraint to fuel innovation? And then we had people like Tom Kagode who was saying, look, the constraint of COVID created an urgency at Lloyd's, his business, that fueled a lot of great creativity. How can we get back to that? Again, people tapping into constraints. And there's the old saying that there's the freedom of a tight brief, but this is almost saying, look, you've got to think inside the box, screw blue sky thinking. It's about being really clear and understanding and being creative to overcome that constraint. And what Douglas, forgive me either way, Doug, if you're watching this, but he created a restaurant that had no bin. And that was the sort of concept. So nothing would go to waste. And obviously a lot of food was recycled, and they reused it in all sorts of interesting ways. I remember he had this phrase, guts to gold, which was about sort of using a lot of these old, I think they were, to be honest, sort of fish entrails, and how you turn that into an amazing sort of sauce, very Roman, if you go back in history. But also they would grind down the kind of old bottles into lampshades or plates. And it's incredible. And this fueling of creativity, we've got something, we might throw it away, what could we do with it? And I love that from a sustainability point of view, but more broadly, I just think that sort of sense of what are your constraints? Don't fight against them, work with them. Try and figure out a way how to get sort of over that or use it to fuel much greater creativity.
Yeah, it's been a huge theme, and again, GIF has always been about impact, so sustainability naturally
100%.
Gets into the conversation we have here. So yes, we've always been big on this front, bringing some amazing people. I remember the first years when we've been doing the event, like long time ago, people would be a bit skeptical about sustainability having a place there. Then we went into this kind of transition period, and now it's like a must to have topic at the event. And yes, Douglas has been a perfect example of that conversation. I think in terms of the event as well, he has changed quite a lot for us as well, just because of this opening your mind in a way. We've been thinking about reducing the paper usage during the event, or just the way we allocate materials and swag, and do we really need that? Do we need that? I have this famous picture of holding just this one bag of trash after the event, which is, of course, you get a bit of boxes and stuff like this inevitably, but at the end of the day, when after such a massive event, you have this one garbage bag, that's it. It's a huge deal, and we're super proud of it. And that's, again, walking the talk of what you're trying to preach here, not just have a content that's curated in a way to attract people, but something that actually has so much meaning and you truly believe in, which we do.
Yeah, it has an impact on you guys as well, and shifts the way the event is run. I mean, that's impactful, right? That's innovative, and that's why people come.